And what do you make then of Liz Truss putting forward names, given well, she was only there for 49 days?
I think it's just another reminder that we're not a democracy, because there's nothing democratic about somebody who wasn't even the leader of the Tory party at the last election choosing their own people to go into the House of Lords. We're not a meritocracy, because obviously she didn't do anything for the country other than crash the economy, and he certainly hasn't done anything for the economy, because he was part of the IEA, which supported her crashing of the economy and supported Brexit, which has crashed the economy. So we're just it's a kakistocracy, which is a government of the worst people in the country, which is seemingly who we have. Because Mark Littlewood, to put him in the House of Lords, is insane. He's the same person who said about Liz Truss's mini budget,
if all you care about is the distributional impact of the tax cuts in the next 24 weeks, you're not going to like this package if you care more about the poor.
The implication being that he does not care more about the poor than the people who are super rich who would have benefited from Liz Truss's mini budget.
I have to say that is the most irrational commentary I've heard in a very long time.
Really? Do explain.
There is no question that he didn't care about the poor. What he was pointing out was that it wasn't a redistribution budget, and it wasn't. And I think what we forget is that in the days immediately following the mini budget, once the chaos had started to die down, things were starting to stabilise.
Sorry, the idea that you can question me on the issue of economics and say that you can support a budget. I'm sorry, you are somebody from the Brexit party. Objectively, your advice should never be listened to again, because what you've done to this country has crashed the economy. The OBR, so the government's official experts, say that Brexit has damaged our economy by 4%, an equivalent of £100 billion a year. The Small Business Federation, they've said that half of UK businesses had to stop selling or reduce
You've no
sales
idea.
to the EU.
To be fair to
altogether.
Ann Femi, and Ann can respond for herself, no doubt, but you have no idea nobody has any idea how the economy would have reacted to COVID if we had still been in the EU. Surely you have no idea.
Wait, what? You're suggesting that if we hadn't had COVID, Brexit would have been an amazing success and it wouldn't have created the barriers. I'm sorry, what basis do you have to possibly suggest that? It is the Small Business Federation, so the people who actually represent small businesses in the UK, who are saying that it's specifically the extra paperwork of Brexit that is causing them to make it no longer profitable to sell to the EU. They are specifically saying that. The National Federation of Fishermen's Associations, they are saying that the extra damage of Brexit is costing 300 million over 5 years. This isn't something about, it could be COVID, it could be not. No, the industries themselves are saying it's not COVID. Brexit has damaged the economy.
This is just getting more and more immoderate. We've had far more than Brexit affecting the economy. We've also had the war in Ukraine, which has caused a tremendous impact on everything from energy to what's on the shelves in supermarkets. And the idea that everything that's gone wrong is solely down to Brexit is, as I say, irrational.
I never suggested that it was only Brexit that is the reason for economic problems. That's what you call a straw man, where you pretend that your opponent is saying something they're not saying in order to beat them on an argument. As for the issue of the economic damage of Brexit, I'm reading here that you studied Latin at university, and you're implying that you know better than the OBR, which is a body of economists. Also the IFS, which is the Institute of Fiscal Studies, and the Bank of England, all of which say that Brexit has damaged our economy roughly to the tune of 4%, again, an equivalent of £100 billion during a cost of living crisis.
Where do you think Liz Truss ranks in the world of prime ministers, in the history of them?
I think worst prime minister is none other is joint between David Cameron and Boris Johnson. David Cameron purely because he unleashed Boris Johnson because he did more damage to, and again, this is according to the OBR, so the government's official experts, more damage to our economy long term than COVID, and destroyed British society via Brexit, even including essentially telling MPs that if they wanted to avoid getting murdered, they needed to support Brexit. He is an absolutely disgusting human being and an absolute stain on the office of Prime Minister.
What did you make of Boris Johnson's performance in the committee this week?
I think this Privileges Committee is like getting Al Capone on tax evasion. This is far from his worst lie, far from his worst crime. We know that it was unlawful when they sent the untested patients into care homes, and we know that thousands of people died from that. We know that his biggest lie was the lie about £350 million a week being available to the NHS, and we found out that it's £100 billion.
And we put in more. And they've put in more. They put in more than the 350 million. They put in more.
Again, your Latin degree does not stand up to the Office of Budget Responsibility.
I've also got an economics degree, Sunshine, in case you didn't know.
Actually, it's politics, philosophy, and economics, which isn't exactly the same as an economics degree. And the OBR has said that it's cost us £100 billion due to the extra trade barriers. So there is no extra money. Any extra money that's going to the NHS, we've plugged that out of the rest.
Budget. Look at the NHS budget.
Any extra money that has gone to the NHS, you cannot attribute to Brexit, because we've seen that Brexit has cost us money rather than give us money. So anybody who's tried to claim that as some sort of Brexit,
it's funny that we didn't have to give to the EU. Now,
and all the economists have made it very clear that we have lost more money as a result of it.
It looks as if Femi's been looking up all your qualifications tonight before he came on.
Well, if that's how he wants to spend his time, he's very welcome.
I actually did it during. It was easy. Just Google.
Ann Widdecome, Femi, thank you very much. We'll pause there.